Vinudhi Wahalathanthri, and I'm here with my 13th question set from the DBMS question series. So in this video, we are going to explain how to correctly create an ER diagram using the MySQL Workbench software for a given question, and how to create a product table, a GRN table, a stock table in the ER diagram. So let's see what are the questions we have to answer regarding this question set. To answer these questions, in our question set 13, we have to refer to the database we created in our 11th question set. So once we are doing the 11th question set, we created a database called NextMobileDB. So we will be using that database to create these tables. So let's see what our first instruction given is. The store owner says that the details of all the products sold in this store need to be stored in the computer software. To do this, create a table called product to store product details. Follow the instructions below to create a table. So now we have to create a product table. So to create this table, we will be using our ER diagram. So now y'all can see that this is the structure of our product table. So we have to add our product ID, the product code, and the product name. And for the product ID, they have told us to give that as our primary key. And the data type is int. So if it's int, we can give auto increment for it. So in my previous videos, we discussed about this auto increment. So an auto increment is, that means it automatically adds the IDs. That means if we add a water, we have to type a separate ID for it. But once we give the auto increment, it automatically adds IDs according to the rows added. So likewise, we'll create our product code and the product name as well. So now I will be using my MySQL Workbench to create this ER diagram. So we have already created this ER diagram. So if we go to our NextMobileDB, over here y'all can see that in my MySQL Workbench, I have created it. So over here, I have created our NextMobileDB. So using this, I'll click on it and we can go to database and we can reverse engineer this. So reverse engineer is something which is opposite to forward engineer. So once we forward engineer it, that means the database will be created graphically. But when we reverse engineer it, it will be converted into a ER diagram. So we can also press Ctrl R. So now I can reverse engineer this. Okay. So next. Okay, next. And okay, now we have to select the schema. So our one is not MyDB, it should be NextMobileDB. And next, and execute. So let's see how it will be viewed. So now wait, okay, reverse engineering process is successfully done. Next, and let's finish it. Okay, so likewise, it has been created. So our user, customer, supplier has likewise been created. So let's see how we are going to create our product table. So we click on Displays New Table, click on the screen or our designing area. And now let's give table name as product, and let's begin to add the columns. So our first column name is the product ID. So likewise, let's begin to create these three columns in this table we have created. So likewise, I have created our columns. Let's see how it's viewed. So now our product table is complete. So let's see what our next instruction is. So our first instruction is complete. The second instruction is the owner of the shop says that he wants to enter the information of all the bills paid by the suppliers into the computer software. To do this, create a table named GRN. Follow the instructions given when creating. So now we have to create the GRN table. to enter the information of all the bills paid by the suppliers. So now, using this, let's create the GRN table as well. So we will be creating this in our ER diagram. So in this table, the GRN ID will become our primary key. So we have to add the auto increment for it, and the data type is int. And we have to add the date with the data type as date. And the quantity are int, the unit price a double, and the total amount as double. So this GRN stands for good received note. So for this table, we should add these columns. So in the same method, let's begin to create this table as well. So likewise, I have created our GRN table as well with these specific columns with that specific data types. Okay, so now our second instruction is complete as well. So let's move on to our third instruction. This software should be able to retrieve the number of items received from suppliers, and the number of items provided by the supplier should not change when selling the product. Your team suggests creating a separate stock table for this issue. Follow the instructions below to create a stock table. So why are we creating this stock table? So we need to retrieve the number of items received from suppliers and the number of items provided by the supplier. So that should not change when selling the product. So now we have to create this separate stock table to solve this issue. So now let's begin to create this stock table as well. So the stock ID will become our primary key in this table. So let's begin to create this stock table. So I will place a new table in our designing area, and let's give the name as stock. So likewise, in the same method we created the rest of our tables, let's begin to create this stock table as well. So I'll give our first column name as stock ID, and we'll give it also increment, and the next one is the quantity. Yes, the quantity, and the next one is selling price. So I'll give our next one as quantity, and the data type is an int. And next one is the selling price. Okay. So for the selling price, we'll give a double because we are getting a double value for that. So a voucher won't be necessary for that instance. So now, okay, so now our stock table is done. So that's it for the tables or the instructions of our question set 13. So this is what we have created for the questions or the instructions given in our 13th question set. So I hope you understood what I explained. So that's it for our question set 13. So I'll be back with my 14th question set. So I hope you understood what I explained. So thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll be back with a new video. So until then, thank you. Have a nice day and bye.